Hallo allemaal, ik hoop dat jullie zo net hebben genoten van Dos Estaciones. Ik heb hier Juan Pablo González bij mij, die inbelt vanuit Los Angeles. Hij is de regisseur van Dos Estaciones en ik ga hem nog wat vragen stellen, zodat we met z'n allen nog net iets meer te weten komen over de film. Bienvenido, Juan Pablo. Welcome, Juan Pablo, with us at Move Film Festival. You are the director of Dos Estaciones, a film that is in our competition as well. How is it going for you in festivals lately?
Hi everyone. It's going good. It's interesting because the film has been playing quite a bit. I haven't been attending many places. A lot of places have been doing, either like these Zoom Q&As or just not being able to attend. But everything is going really well. We're actually going to New York City in a couple of weeks, which we're very excited about. Finally we're starting to travel a little bit with the film, so we're happy.
Great. Speaking of festivals, Teresa Sanchez, the actress that plays Maria, she won the premio. She won the prize for Best Actress in Sundance Film Festival, right? Is she a very famous actress in Mexico? How did you meet? Why did you choose to work with her?
Yeah, she's actually a very well-known actress in Mexico. She for many years she's worked only with with one or two directors, but now she's starting to work with a lot more people. She made a film 2-3 years ago that's called The Chambermaid, and that really sort of put her in the eyes of many directors. But I've known Teresa for 7-8 years now. And we worked on this film together for about 4 years. So yeah, it's been a longish relationship, and we actually worked on this character of Maria for about building this character for about 4 years together. And I just think she's an incredible actress. She's not that well known outside of Mexico, but in Mexico she has a huge reputation. Yeah.
Your film is going to change everything for her, Juan Pablo. So
that's sweet. I mean, she's working a lot right now, so I'm very happy about that.
Great. Yeah. I read in information about the film that your parents also had a tequila farm. Is it true? Is that true?
Yeah, it's actually the factory that we shot at is run by my parents, and
also the building is your parents' building.
It's run by them. It's owned by a few people, but it's run by them, and so a lot of the things that happened to Maria are inspired in a lot of things that have happened not just to them but to other smaller producers in the area,
in the region. And did you also put some elements of your own youth in the film?
Not so much. I didn't sorry, that's my daughter. I didn't go there so much. I think I was a lot more interested in sort of the character of Maria, and kind of thinking, to give a little bit of context, and you tell me if I'm going on for too long, but
I'll keep you on track,
because I can go on for very long with this. But what I wanted to focus on was this woman that is part of a generation of let's say business people from the area, and tequila producer. They're both business. That's the difference, right? It's like they're both business people and tequila producers, sort of craftsmen and women, and that really separates them from these corporations, because these corporations have like all the business people that are many people, and then the actual people who do the work, no? So
Yeah.
she is part of this generation that
That's
was
both. Yeah.
that does both, and that was growing up, you know, that was born between the 50s and 60s in this area, you know, and they were the ones, all of these people that were from these areas were the ones that made this sort of tequila boom, you know, like the tequila boom of the 80s happened because of them.
Yeah.
Then now they've been, you know, they've been pretty much dissolved, right? Like in the sense that they've either, you know, gone bankrupt because of because they just couldn't keep up with this, you know, this sort of
the new
yeah
American systems and
and on competition, etc., or they were bought out, no? And some of them, you know, became really rich, but they're not in, let's say, like they're not doing that anymore, which was also, you know, which is also something that their families had been doing for, I mean, in the case of my family, you know, my father's family has been doing tequila since the end of the 19th century, right?
Yeah.
That we know of, you know. So it's like
Yeah.
it's these, you know, these families that had centuries of history,
a big disruption of tradition.
completely, no?
Yeah.
So I really wanted to focus on that, and a character that is sort of in the brink of that loss, and what sort of she's gonna do about that, and then at the same time focus on kind of contemporary Totonilco, and that's why, you know, the character of Tatin is so important for the film, no?
Yeah. Did you feel kind of a responsibility to show a story in the region where you were brought up? Did you want to show this part of Mexico and this tradition and these tequila factories that you grew up between? Did you want to show exactly this to the world?
You know, it's interesting that you asked that, because I've been, you know, before Dos Estaciones, I had been already making films. I had, you know, I don't have a super long film career, but I've been making films for about 7-8 years now, and all of my films are set there.
Yeah.
I had never played a film in Belgium, so,
so
you know, you probably haven't seen those films, but you know, but there are films about my hometown, and that's been sort of my, you know, like at the beginning when I started making them, I just started making them because I thought, like, well, this is the place that I know.
Yeah.
So I can't really make films about anything else, because this is what I know.
Because it's close to you as a person.
Yeah, but then I realized that you know, I also wanted to make films about the idea, kind of, there's this idea of what rural Mexico is, you know, in not just outside of Mexico, but also like in cities, in Mexico City, in Guadalajara, sort of like the big cities. There's like an idea of rural Mexico.
Of rural Mexico, then, or just the identity of Mexico.
Yeah, which is pretty homogeneous, and it's wrong in a way, because you know, rural Mexican life is I mean, it's incredibly diverse, because every region is sort of, it's, you know, if you think about it historically, you know, going back to before colonial times, and even in colonial times, like all these regions were their own sort of nations, and it was it's just very, very, very different traditions and forms of and ways of life. And so I, you know, I wanted to, you know, with these films, and not just Dos Estaciones and the previous films, but the films that I'm planning next, basically I just want to, you know, one of the reasons that I'm making these films, I realized, is to kind of just maybe say to the world, you know, there is this place, you know, this small town in in this geographic location that is this, and it's pretty unique, you know, and like it has its uniqueness, and also it's kind of, and also there are things that happen here that happen everywhere else, no, like those both sort of aspects of life in my hometown, and sort of to understand that rural life is also contemporary life, right? Like we tend to think that contemporary life is only in the cities, no?
Yeah, yeah.
But that you know, but that one can see and understand that actually these places are quite vibrant and interesting and complex, and you know, and complicated and beautiful, and you know, and sort of all these contradictions of contemporary life also happen in these small towns, no?
Nice, beautiful. I have one last question for you. I read that the region where the film is shot is pretty Catholic, very, very religious. Is it in this that you wanted to show the contradiction of Maria's sexuality, the tension that you feel between the women? Is it because the basis was very Catholic and very traditional that you wanted to show something else here as well?
Yeah, you know, because I think the stereotype is that in, you know, these places, because of this very ingrained Catholicism, they're very static culturally and sexually, you know, and it's not the case, right? Like, and it's interesting to see how, you know, these kind of deep religious beliefs kind of coincide with alternative ways of living sexuality and gender, etc. No, and it's very clear with Latin. I mean, I purposely didn't want to show, you know, this kind of. I purposely didn't want to show religion too much. It's more present in my previous films. But you know, Tatin, who is a trans woman in Atotonilco, is very Catholic, no? So it's also like these, you know, it's again, I think it's also just to say that life is a lot more complex than just this kind of sort of idea or discursive idea of what being progressive means, you know, and what thinking alternatively in relationship to sexuality can be, you know. And we see it, you know, me and my partner, we're both from this region, and you know, we're actually moving there soon again, and yeah, and it's interesting because we see that, you know, we see that there are so many things that are so complex and interesting that just people outside don't get to experience, you know, because there's this stereotype and this narrative that sort of flattens everything, no? I don't know if I answered your question.
Yeah, you did. Is it to make another film that you're going to move there, or do you want to go back to the village, to your parents, to your roots?
Yeah,
we
want,
live
you
in
know,
Los Angeles now, or
yeah. We've been living in Los Angeles for a little bit because I'm a film teacher. That's why also I haven't been traveling much, because I have
you have to be in school. Yeah,
I'm sort of like a little bit of an academic, so we want to go back because we have a daughter, we have a 2-year-old daughter, and we want to be close to family, and we want to we have different projects. My partner is a writer, and you know, I'm making film. She co-wrote this film with me, actually.
Beautiful.
But she has other writing projects and there in the area. And yeah, I mean, I feel like it's calling us.
yeah.
Yeah.
The agave plants are calling you. Yeah. Come back. All right. Yeah, Juan Pablo, thank you very much for being with us. I wish you the best of luck in our competition, and we hope to see and show more work of yours in the future. Thank you very much for being with us here in the video, but of course in the film even more. Thank you.
Thank you so much, and thank you so much for inviting the film. It's really exciting that we're gonna have a Belgian premiere. Thank you.
All right. Thank you very much, Juan Pablo, and good luck with the moving day.
Thank you.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Ciao.